Hi, everybody. Ooh, oops. Why can't this ever stay put? Why? Okay, let me plug in my mic. Don't know if anyone's in here. I'm just talking to myself. Don't want to make it too loud and crazy. On here to do a little bit of readings. Let me plug in mic. Why can't things just do what they're supposed to do? That's what I want to know. All right, everybody. Happy Halloween. Back, was happy belated Halloween. So I'm coming on here to do some live readings and to do a little bit of chat. Let me see here. See the lighting. Ooh, too dark. Too light. This is probably good, right? It's a little moodish. Is it too dark? I don't know. So yeah, I'm doing live readings with donation. And we're doing a little paranormal chat and discussion. I didn't come on yesterday because obvious reasons. It was Halloween and I figured everyone was out doing stuff. What were you guys doing? So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I think everyone could see. I don't know if anyone's even in here. So I'll just keep talking and see. Maybe people all have hangovers from last night. It's the Day of the Dead today. So, this is a good day to do some readings, especially medium readings, but you don't need to do them today, but we could do them and honor them today. If you're in here and you see me, let me know. Maybe everybody's like recovering from yesterday, which would make sense. I feel like I'm just needs to be lower or I don't know, higher. I don't know. Anyway, so I see people in here, but I see no one saying anything. So hopefully the chat isn't giving a hard time. If it is, then tell me on my Instagram, but I don't think so. Let me test it out. Hi, Danny. What's up? I got your email. I got to read it. Hi, Aquamarine? Not Aquaman, right? Ooh, it's a long one. Okay. I'll have to get to that one. That's going to be a good one. How was everybody's Halloween? Hi, Lucera. Hi, dear, listening from Mexico. Hola. I know poquito español. Lo siento. Sorry, I tried to. Did you say Mexico or New Mexico? You said Mexico. Okay. So I tried to keep it concise. That's okay. Tu español es perfecto. Bien, sí. Así, así. ¿Sí? Ah, gracias. How is everybody's Halloween? And today is I have to look it up. Because now I'm got pressure with Erica here. I have to look up have to look up how you say it in Spanish, right? And here's the thing I learned. I put it on my Patreon. If you guys are on my Patreon, I did death rituals, and of course, one of them is Day of the Dead, which is today, right? And I didn't say it in Spanish on my podcast. Don't worry about it, Danny. Yes, today and tomorrow. Yes. Don't worry about it, Danny, because you'll completely you're completely fine. I totally understand it. De Dia de los Muertos. Is that right? Muertos? Dia de los Muertos. Did I get it correct? Sí, correcto. Dia de los Muertos. Okay. Yes, that is today and tomorrow. One, I have never gone to a celebration. And then when I did my research, I found out that it's an Aztec, um, comes from the Aztec culture. And I found out only recently that I'm Aztec, um, because I didn't know my father's side. So appropriately so. There you go. Yes, I knew I was Mexican. My name's Adela. Adelita is what my family used to call me when I was little. But I did not grow up with that side. Anyway, so is this the time where the dead roam the earth? Just stayed home, watched a movie with my sister today and tomorrow are the interesting day. Is this a time where the dead roam the earth more? Well, no, not necessarily. However, is it a time what else did people do? Keep your answers coming. I want to hear. Is this a time where we can have ritual and honor the dead like Samhain? Samhain is a witch's holiday. I talk about all of these things on my Patreon. If you join my Patreon, you can see and I unlock all the videos I have on there. However, I do feel that people tend to be more attentive and open to the dead, to the spirit world, for sure. Much more during these times. So it just turns out that people, pay attention to those dead ones. But I love how I kind of didn't plan this cup really, but worked out. Yeah, so I haven't gone to has anyone ever gone to a festival for the Day of the Dead? I haven't. I've always wanted to. The ones that they have here in LA are pretty a little bit insane. Oh, and that reminds me, I have somebody here, if they're here right now, to get their first reading. They got a medium reading. I don't know if they're here, but it was Miriam, I think, that paid, and then their service was bad, so I couldn't read them. So if that person pops in, you are first for a reading. You donated, and then things went crazy. What did everyone else do? So anyway, as anyone know about Samhain? Samhain is a witch's holiday. It is a ritual where covens come together and do a ritual for the dead. It's very, very similar to Dia de los Muertos. Did I do it right? Where is it? Dia de los Muertos. It's Day of the Dead. It's very similar. The only difference is Samhain is much heavier. It's much it's not as light and celebratory, which is why I'm very drawn to the day of today, the Day of the Dead, and the rituals and celebrations because it's much more of a colorful celebration honoring not only the dead but the living. So I feel more drawn to it. Where Samhain, which is a witches holiday, where I have been in a seer in covens on Samhain. If you know anything about Samhain, they actually get a medium. They get somebody. They'll ask a medium, or maybe they have someone in their coven to. I've been asked by a few covens to be a seer and to help talk to the dead. And they do this ritual, and it's kind of insane. It's kind of intense. And after doing a few Samhain rituals and being a seer in a few of them, I'm much more drawn to Dia de los Muertos. Did I say it right? Day of the Dead. I'm much more drawn to it because it's more light and celebratory and colorful. Anyway, that's my whole spiel. Okay. I got you. Who is that? Erica. Got you, Erica. Erica's going to get a medium reading on the Day of the Dead. Perfect. Did you go to a celebration, Erica? Do you go? Do you do that? Yes, thank you. Okay, I got you on the list. Um, do you do this? Do you go to any kind of Day of the Dead celebrations in Mexico? I feel like I don't know if has anybody ever gone to one? And has anybody ever done Samhain? Samhain is the same thing they mispronounced in charm, I think, or not charm. They usually mispronounce it. No, I just stayed home putting my altar and waiting for my dad to visit us tonight. Oh, okay. Hmm. Yeah. So, um, they're kind of similar. Whereas Samhain is more where the coven will come together and they'll. I did the same thing, and Erica Atenzo just chilling out. Okay, you did the same thing as Erica. Got it. Hmm. Well, Samhain is a little bit different because it's where witches come together. They create a turn, they open up the gates, and they really kind of aggressively, um, like like slam open the gates and the spirits come in. Whereas the Day of the Dead, you're kind of like calling in your ancestors and your family. And in Samhain, they kind of are calling in anyone who wants to come in. And a seer, and when one time I did this, there's four seers, there's a seer in each corner. And sometimes people wear like a hood, you know what I mean? Like a whole a cloak with a hood on it, and they yell out every time they feel a spirit. Every time they hear a spirit, they yell it out, and it's pretty intense. And I did it. I didn't wear a hood, and I saw some people have a really hard time. And then the people who are who are there to receive, the message are like sitting there and they're crying and all this type of stuff. One time I was doing one and there was a girl who was new to mediumship, not brand new. She took many, many classes, practiced for a very long time. She decided to do a Samhain, and she all of a sudden I went to this other part of the ritual and I had this feeling like something was pulling me. They had finished the whole Samhain part, and she was trying to it's like the room feels thick, like spirits are all in this room. It feels like intense. People are screaming and crying and all this type of stuff, and I'm standing there and I go and they do like kind of like another ritual with the fire, and all of a sudden I felt like I had to turn and I got pulled and I start walking, just rounding my way, and she's sitting there crying, and all the witches were trying to comfort her and try to do things for her, but they couldn't figure it out. So all of a sudden I just put my she looked up and was crying, "Adela, help me." And I opened my arms and I said, "Breathe in," because I could feel she was stuck with all the energy. And I breathed it out for her. And she got unstuck and she like collapsed. And then, of course, these people who thought they were badass. I'm just saying, you could tell that I had a problem with these people who thought they were acting badass. By the way, in the witchy world and stuff, people get very competitive, people get very jealous. All these other witches didn't even thank me, just swooshed her away. And yeah, they were always very irritated of what I could do. That's another side story. But in what happened is that because she was new to talking to spirits and new to knowing how to do this, she got stuck. So sounds very intense. They kind of rip open the gates and they let all kinds of spirits in. They don't try to stop it. But I do the same thing when I do a spirit circle, which I had a spirit circle this past week. It was awesome. We did it via online, but I've done them many, many times in person. We opened the gates and everybody was really trippy. People worked together and was able to see several spirits that had been connected to the people there. Um, but I am a little more careful and a little more guarded, where in this setting, they kind of like do like a ritual where they're kind of m- moving around in a circle and churning, like kind of like what you've seen in movies, like we are lift opening the gates. And it's pretty intense. It's a really intense. And I'm very seasoned and I could handle it, but this girl wasn't, and she couldn't handle it. So, yeah. So I've done other Samhains that are pretty lighthearted for another coven where they just kind of did the ritual, but the funny the they were a little more chill than the other coven. But she did light, she was reading the ritual out of a book and then lit it on fire. So that was, that was interesting. She was reading the ritual and the incantations and lit the book on fire. Yeah, so, we had to put that out, and then they called in all the corners because 'cause they're more Wiccan, and they do it a little different. So, did you like my storytelling? No one's saying anything, I'm just talking to myself here. And then I went to the store and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, I am doing readings and telling stories. I have a million stories, but I try to save them more for my podcast, The House Medium, which, by the way, so many of you, um, I do, but it came in halfway. I'm listening. Just popped in. Okay. I was telling a story. I love all your stories, experiences. I love you, Dale. It's me, Seb. I don't know who that is. What's SCB? Thank you, though. Thank you so much. Yes, I have I've been following you from Periscope. Oh my goodness. Okay. Interesting. Sebastian. Sebastian. Do I know Sebastian? You've done a personal reading for me. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Um, who's Sebastian? Am I supposed to know am I not remembering this name? I feel like I should know it. Yeah, so that's my story. I have a million stories. I have a million stories about um so many crazy things that has happened. Oh, by the way, I will say add to the story. So then one night when I we did it that Samhain that I described you, um, where everything was crazy and everything went crazy. Um, that I was telling you about, where the girl and I had to help her. When we were driving home, all of a sudden we look up and there's like a there's a pole and a light, and there's like this all this fog, but it wasn't fog, it was like a cloud over the light. And my friend, who she's a witch, and I did a Samhain ritual. I was a seer for her Samhain ritual. She freaked out. She was an old friend. She was like, "Do you see that? Do you see that?" And it was clear as day. Like it was clear as day. It was insane, everyone. Um, I could not believe it. It was like a scene out of a movie, but it was clear as night because it was night. Um, but it was like a cloud hanging over a light. And she's like, we should have stopped. She's like, should we stop? And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't know what's happening. This is crazy. I have millions and millions of experiences. Yeah. So whenever I go in the Bigfoot Collectors Club, which I was on, you should go check me out on their podcast. I was on there last week. And this time I was doing what I do on the House Medium, which, with their listeners sending in their stories. And they say, "Do you have a paranormal story?" Yeah, I have a million. Um, you've helped me so much. I plan to get my story to the public to help people. Awesome. That's really great. I'm so glad, Blueberry. Um, she was spot on. Oh, thank you. So yeah, so I've had so many that was like one of my, I want to say, like, favorite experiences, one of them, because those are one of those things that you can't explain. Did anybody have anything crazy happen to them Halloween? And what did you guys do Halloween? If you throw out to me, while people, do you think more was more alien or spirit? Oh, no, no, no. This was spirit. This was like clearly like it was mist. Thank you, Aquamarine. Thank you. It was mist. That looked definitely more spirit because it was definitely, yeah, it was like this huge amount of mist. And it was like a dark night. It was the whole thing. All the things you see in a movie when you see like a paranormal, scary movie. I did another seance, nothing too crazy, but we had a trickster spirit that was playing around with our group. Yeah, you got to be careful of that. Yes, it was definitely a miss. When you did your seance, did you use a Ouija board or did you do it without a Ouija board is the question. What was going on? Yes, Ouija board. Okay. There you go. Um, are ads running? I just saw something that said ads will run shortly for some viewers. Okay. On a live? All right. Well, I guess YouTube's got to get paid by my million of viewers that I have on here. Um, you know, Go ahead, YouTube. Little old me. Get your pennies. No ad on my end. Haha. Yeah, it says it's counting down. Here we go. 10, 9. I got an ad right when I joined. What? 8, 3, 2, 1. What's happening? You can do it. You can skip it. The spirit was familiar with the seance named George. He kept moving the planchette to a 0 and then Z and then pointed at the stars. I didn't feel any malice. No ads for me, but I'm on a family plan. Okay. Yeah, it said for some people. The spirit was familiar with the seance lead named George. He kept moving the planchette to 0 and Z and then pointed at the stars. I didn't feel any malice. 0, O and Z. So that sounds like Oz. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of sounds like Oz, right? Like somewhere over the rainbow? That doesn't seem trickstery, like pointing to the stars. I remember when I was in Mexico and me and my family came back to the house in my room, and then all the stuff was rearranged and messed, but it was locked. And when we opened the door, and when we opened the door, the vacuum, yes, the wizard behind the curtain turned on by itself. No, not the wizard behind the curtain. Oz means that's where they are, somewhere over the rainbow. I think people always want to go to everything being negative. If you were really trying to contact somebody for real, you know what I mean? Like if you really were trying to contact somebody particular on a Ouija board, then that's the way to do it. If you're gonna have more chances of having a trickster spirit if you're just opening up to whatever, whoever. But honestly, it says we're in the stars. It kind of spelled Oz in the stars over the rainbow. Everybody, you got to remember when you're talking to the dead, they're people who died. When you went and got coffee today, put gas in your car, you had to pay someone at Target, the people behind you, that's it. It's not scary monsters, it's the oil man who changed your oils. I mean, your oil in your car. I mean, this is what I'm saying. So what it sounds like is that sounds like a cool message. It sounds like Oz to stars, somewhere over the rainbow, meaning they're on the other side. That's what that song, if you listen to it, about. Um, and even the song, the Muppet songs, that song you're talking about, if you listen to the lyrics, he says he hears voices, and is that a voice? Is it the same voice that's somewhere? Anyway, went off on a tangent, but you see what I'm saying. All right, Erica, I got you in line. Let's do your reading. We're gonna talk to some people who've passed, and this is a good day, the Day of the Dead. I don't know if you got what I was saying, Ivana. But remember, um, always try to remember that, if you go in, if you're, we're all going to be on the other side someday. So someday someone's going to be running from you like you're a monster. And you're like, I'm just somebody who died. You can't see. I do immediately thought about the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, that's a good thing. Wizard of Oz, but you're saying Wizard of Oz, but Oz is basically somewhere over the rainbow, like I'm over the rainbow. That's how that realm talks. They talk like in memes and gifs. That's how spirits talk. That's how telepathic communication is. It's like memes and gifs and emojis. It's like, get it? Here's a picture. That's where we are. We're over the rainbow. You see what I mean? All right, Erica, who would you like to speak to? Is this your grandfather we're speaking to who's passed? And what side of the family is he on? Medium read, I would like to a message from Dad Manuel, he, him. I have some manuals in my life too. Okay, it's not the same manual, is it? Just kid- I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm putting some lipstick on if you don't mind. Listen, I didn't meet my dad for a while. I do know the family now. But I know some manuals, like I think an uncle or something. Okay, you just never know. All right, let's get you going. Ready? Maybe we're sisters. No, because pretty clear on who I'm related to. Okay, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna talk to your dad. Okay. So the first thing I hear is that he's very excited. He's talking, when he died, everything happened really fast, and he wasn't expecting it to happen that fast. He says that he held on for as long as he could, but everything kind of spun out of control. Meaning like he couldn't hold back anymore. Like he had to give in to the fact that he was going to leave this world. The other feeling I get is like a feeling in my chest, like I start to feel like something hurting here. Um, Everything was just kind of, I want to say like almost difficult. And, he felt like he got more stuck, like something about his chest getting like heavier and heavier until he couldn't hold back anymore. He's saying that how he died was not a surprise to him. He did expect it, but he was desperately trying to stop it, meaning like he wanted to try and live, but he couldn't. The f- That makes a lot of sense. He died of complications related to his heart. Okay. Yeah, that's what it felt. He says not to mourn his loss here. He says very much like, this is appropriate for Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. Very much like in the movie, he's actually saying like the book of life, that the world he's in is like a city. And by the way, I always see the afterlife like the book of life. There it is a city, but not like as how some parts are like broken and some parts are nicer, like if you're famous or something. It's not like that. All of it is a city. And he says, in this city, there's so much love and compassion. He's young again. He's about 25. He says that he's very excited about something coming in the month of April for you, April, May. And he says he'll be there with you, helping you with everything. He said the scariest part about his death is that he actually started to feel the pain. The pain started to get worse, but something about May, June. He also wants everyone to know that if you talk to your family on a regular basis, you kind of strengthen the connecting line to them. So he says you talk to him on a regular basis, he hears you. He's sorry that he wasn't able to stay longer. Did he die young? Pretty young? Did he die like in his 50s or something? I know for you young people, you're like, that's not young, Adela. Well, I beg to differ. So, I'm going, I'm going to side with your father. Anyway, Erica, speak to me. Um, no, he was old in body but young in heart. Okay. Okay, old in body meaning, sorry, I just got the hiccups. Old in body like, meaning like 80s old in body? Let's get a definition of what you saying old is. 74. Okay. Yeah, I felt like when I saw him, I would literally see 54 rather than 74. I feel like he's saying that he always liked to keep going. He made a mistake of not listening to himself and listening to the doctors and taking a break. He says that yeah, his biggest thing is to kind of confirm with you what you think the afterlife is like. He says thank you for honoring him. He hears you, he feels you. He's sorry that he didn't really pay attention enough in his life to how he was living it. He was one of those people that he had a heart problem, but he didn't change his habits, let's say. He ate what he want, he did what he want. Did he smoke? So, yeah, I hope that makes sense. So everybody here, in case you don't know what Erica's father's talking about, is very similar. If you've seen the movie Book of Life, I know you've seen Book of Life, Coco, and this is about the afterlife and the story that's told about today, the Day of the Dead, and the things that go on. Well, they have both shown it. I believe both movies shown it as a city, and I always see it as a city, but way more elaborate and more modern than I see. Yeah, he used to smoke, then change habits until um, late in his life. Yeah, he kind of like sticking to what he I don't know, Eric. I think he kind of cheated now and again in things that maybe, you don't always tell your kids. But if you ever watch What Dreams May Come or The Day of the Dead, I mean, or Coco or Book of Life, this is what he's talking about. Yes, he used to look younger. Um, no, I mean, in the afterlife right now, he looks younger. When you die, you don't stay looking the way you look. All of the stuff you ever see about like when you die, you're going to be wearing forever what you're wearing. No, you're going to look how you look. No, their energy. That's just kind of like someone thinking a picture I post on here right now is the way I'm looking all the time. Imagine if you go back in time and try to show somebody a picture online and you're like, "Oh, I saw this picture of this on this thing and this magical thing." And you're like, "No, I don't I don't look like that." Very bad example, horrible example, but let me put it this way. He's energy so he can change his imagery so he looks young. When you talk to him, if you have a dream about him, if you connect with your father on the other side, don't be surprised if he comes to you looking young. If you've ever had that experience, anybody on here, where you've connected with someone on the other side and meaning through a dream or something and they look young, this is why. Everybody, did that make sense? Did I get everybody confused? I hope that made sense. So, yeah, it makes sense. Yes. Does that make sense to you about what he's saying? Do you know anything about May? No, makes sense. Okay. No makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Dad. Do you know what he said about May, June? Was it May, June, April, May? April, May. April, May. Right? Did he say April, May that something was going to change? Do you know anything about what he's talking about by any chance? May is my mom's birthday. Okay. Yes, it's that. So, but your mom passed? Well, you can say but about. Because what they tend to do is give me a confirmation of something I don't know, only you would know. And he's saying he will be a part of whatever is going on that month. So I hope that made sense. No, my mom's alive. Well, we'll try to get pregnant next year, perhaps. That's not what he's no, that's not what he's talking about. He's just giving me a confirmation. You have to realize that people who died, they can't tell you when you're going to get pregnant. So don't believe anybody about that. They can tell you that they're bringing you a child or helping bring a child to you, bring a spirit baby to you. But again, they're only people who died. They don't know your big path. They don't know all the lessons you have to learn, the things you have to go through. So they would not be able to tell you the date that you're going to be having a baby. They can help bring the spirit to you, however. All right. Well, it's pretty chill tonight. Everybody's pretty quiet. Ooh, sorry. Then I don't remember anything special. No, 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 no. The future is that it's your mom's birthday and maybe you're celebrating it, so he's excited about it. That's what I'm trying to say. He's saying, like, in that time period, I'll be there, I'll be a part of it. You know what I mean? So that's it. All right, everybody. It's been pretty chill tonight, which I understand. Anybody saying anything or no? Anybody saying anything or what? What's up? I had a vision when I was awake, half asleep, that I was going to find love in December. Did it happen, Blueberry? Blueberry Berry, did it happen? Did you find love in December? Would you be able to do a reading on a place I used to live at? Um, I would say I'd rather say that's really kind of for my podcast. I don't normally do things like that on here. That would be for my podcast. This is for intuitive readings, medium readings. not really for the things I do on the house medium. If you want something like that done, email my podcast and come on my podcast. That's really what that's for, not really for like this kind of reading. I have a reason for that. I'm not going to do stuff like that on YouTube when I can use that for my podcast. Um, did it come true, Blueberry Berry? Will do. I've been curious for years. Well, why haven't you emailed the house medium at Gmail? What's the problem? What's the problem? Right here, house medium and Gmail this December. Oh, this December. Well, that's different. That's you having a vision for yourself. If you're trying to have a vision for yourself, um, you know what I mean? I'm a goof. You are a goof. I got you, Sarah. You are a goof because if yeah, so if so you are a goof for not sending me in the house medium at Gmail. Did I not repeat that enough? Um, and the person who had a vision, you can have a vision for yourself about when you're going to find love. Sure, sure, sure. That can happen. All right, Sarah, are you in here? What question do you have? I saw a pine tree while I was half awake asleep. Oh, I see what you're saying. Aquamarine. Hi, I'm Sarah. I was wondering if a certain guy was interested in me. What do you mean a certain guy? Be a little more specific. Like, how are they to you? Like, what I mean is this the person you work with, or is this someone are you even talking to this person? Like, you gotta give me a little more details is what I mean. Are you talking to this person? Now, I will look at him and I will see and I will remote view him, but am I looking for if he's interested in you and you've just been staring at him across the room and he knows, or you've been dating with him? Okay. So I wanna know what I'm gonna be looking that he's actually doing for you. Maybe one more time to be safe, but I'll go ahead now. He was an old coworker turned into a good friend. I was wondering if a certain guy okay, maybe one more time to be safe, but I'll go ahead now. Go ahead now, what? Oh, yeah, go ahead. The house medium at Gmail. That's it. It's pretty easy. Let's call him D. All right. Ha ha ha. Okay. All right. So let's see. Let's see about the is that why you're joking? Because it's a double meaning. Double meaning. All right, hold on. Let me see what's up with D. Let me see him. So here's the thing, Sarah. My feeling with him, no, it's haha, it's his initial. Okay. He doesn't quite, he's kind of clueless to things when I see him. I honestly, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I feel like he sees you more as a friend. I get the feeling that's how you're talking to him right now, more like a friend, and that's how he's seeing you. He's a really actually a really stable, nice guy, has good energy, good intention, but his intentions seem more friendly than more friendship than romantic. A little bit, yeah, he's a nice guy. Like, I don't see you guys flirting. Yeah, he's very respectful. I don't see you guys flirting or having any of those contexts. I don't think he has any clue you like him. I don't know why, ladies, that you don't seem to understand that men need, if you're going to date cis straight men, you got to give them a clue of what's happening. You got to like, they don't pick up on the subtleties. You can't be like, "Ooh, boo, have a nice day." Go, "Well, I text him." I mean, this is what a problem a lot. You have to be a little more clear. So, yeah, anyway, I don't feel like he has any clue, and honestly, I think he'd be quite surprised. We're hanging out tomorrow, and I was gonna kinda hint. Yeah, you can't hint. Like, what's a hint? What's a hint? What were you gonna do to hint? Like put your hand on his hand, bat your eyes? I mean, you have to be like way more obvious about it or speak to him about it. Um, he's not gonna ever catch these subtleties. He's gonna kind of assume you guys are friends and you've been friends for some time and that's where the category you're in and that's the way it is, unless you are going to expose otherwise. So I feel like your hinting is terrible. um, I feel like I'm the loneliest person around because of how conscious I am and how far I've grown as a person. I don't know if my vision was correct or not. What's your take? I'm doing readings for people who actually I'm doing a reading right now for someone who donated, so that's what I'm doing. That would be pulling me in to kind of do a reading for you, right? Not really fair. That's good to know. Thank you. Haha. Yes. So I feel like for you, Sarah, I feel like the best thing for you to do is to be obvious. Do you think you can do that? You can be like, yo, you, me, hanging, feels good. You're more than a friend to me. Or how about, yo, you're more than a friend. Get through your thick skull. Why do men have to not have to be so clueless? Just kidding. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? Listen, everyone, communication is a really big problem amongst people. You notice we have a communication problem in this world. I just got to see as I do lemons in my water. Um, and especially, I love the Z generation, but you guys talk very minimal and very vague. And get ready because I've had a peek into the alpha, and they're even worse. Um, I'm gonna go through something with the breakup, so I'm not 100% ready to commit, but I was thinking someone in the future. Somewhere some time in the future. Okay. Definitely I'm guilty of it, but trying to be more aware. Yes, especially the Z generation and oops, sorry. And the alpha is like even worse. That's a generation after you. They don't even the alpha generation, they barely say yes, no. They have this way of talking. They use memes, they use gifs, they hate social media, they don't like to post. These are the teenagers coming up. So I don't know what's going on. These two generations are going to not be big talkers. So I was kind of taking it slow with growing a close relation with him. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. No offense, Sarah, but I don't know why the ladies do this. Just tell him I'm into you more than just a friend when you're ready. This whole growing and waiting and all this too long. Too. You're like, thanks, Adela. So that's my 2 cents. I think I will then. Awesome. Yes. And then next week, I'll be back next Tuesday, regular time. What do you guys think? 7:30 or 7? 7:30 works more for me, but I think I would like 7. Is that between 7 but which one would you pick? 7 or 7:30 specific standard time, which would get it to like 10 on the East Coast. I like 7:32, which is, 7:30 is nice. I like 7:32. It gives me time. I'm doing the same thing you guys are doing, right? You're coming home from work, you're eating lunch, dinner, lunch, you're chilling, and then you're like, okay, I can like watch this. And that's kind of how I feel about doing this because I read all day. Sometimes I'm recording my podcasts, and then I'm like, okay, after all that, and then, pop on here for like an hour, do a few readings, do a little chat. All right, everyone. Well, I posted a new class. Just one anybody who's interested in online class because you guys wanted me to. Everyone was sending in dreams to my podcast after I had Michael McMillan from the Bigfoot Collectors Club on. Everyone was sending in their dream stories, and then everyone was asking me about dreams, like what does it mean? Am I astral projecting? Am I seeing an alien? Am I seeing spirits? 7:30 to 8, that would be 9:30 for me. Perfect. Yeah, that's when I come on. So I'm doing a 1-day class on how to decipher between astral travel, lucid dreaming, and spirit communication and aliens, like how you know the difference. Because everyone has sent me quite a few stories and questions about dreaming. So I posted that. It's on my Instagram, on my website, AdelaLavine.com. It's an online class. You can come live or you can just get the video later and watch it at your leisure. So I did that one because I don't know if you heard when Michael McMillan came on my podcast, he talked about his dream, and then after that, everyone's like, maybe about my dreams might be a little shifty. So anyway, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I really, really, really love the spirit circle I did. I'm gonna do another one. I'm just deciding if I should do it in this month in November or December. Always love to hear your feedback. The spirit circle, everyone sat around. We kind of pinged, kind of bounced off of each other, and one person saw something, another person saw another thing, and we got people that and shocked somebody in the circle that couldn't believe it was the day of this person's passing that we got this person for her that she didn't expect. We just kind of we didn't ask for anyone particular. We just let the spirits talk. I led it, but everyone in the circle did the work and they had fun and didn't realize they could do it, felt things, experiencing things. I really liked it because it was way more casual and it was harder for me than I thought to not be the one to see everything for everyone. But everyone did so awesome. Anyway, it was just cool. It was just cool. It was a cool time. Ooh, I felt like something poked me. I've been getting poked a lot lately. I've been getting poked, touched a lot from the spirit world. Like it's been kind of rampant. Quite a bit. I was sitting on the couch and I felt something tug my hair like this. And I looked and I thought it was my cat. No cat. That's always the trippy thing when you feel something poking. I don't know if you ever had spirit poke, and then you look and nobody's there. You're like, it's my cat, and the cat's sleeping. Actually, my cat was in the corner staring at me like this, like she saw what was touching me. And then I felt something kind of walk by, which I swore it was a cat, and it could be the spirit of my cat who passed, which I'm very bet it was. And then I look and again, she's nowhere, she's over there eating. That's always trippy. It's like in the movies where you like see someone and then you're like, so and so, and you go and look and the person's just sitting there, you know, like the person in the house is just like sleeping and you're like, okay, that was trippy. So, and then I was at a friend's house and her mom was talking about people who pass and all something and I felt someone poke me. I used to not allow that stuff. It's been happening more. I wish we could poke them back, but when I was younger I did have a spirit growl at me. No, that's not okay. Growling isn't that's not a spirit. Those are like little gremlin types. That's not okay. And I'm glad you growled back, but you gotta ban that shit. Poking, kind of, stroking your face, these things that spirits. Growling, not cool. That's very negative. That's something, kind of imagine someone purposely waiting around the corner to like purposely be mean, like a troll. So like how people troll here online. So never, never, never just do that casually. Poking and things like this are spirits that I know trying to get my attention type of thing. Anyway, never allow the growling. And don't give the greatest signal today, but I sent a donation. Did it go through? Oh, um, yeah. Wait, actually, yes, Danny. Okay, Danny, I'm gonna cut it off because I'm doing an hour today. I had read like 4 people today. I have 4 people booked tomorrow. And it might even be 5 now. Let me check. I hope it's not 5. because that's a lot. It's 4. Okay. If we need to reschedule, it's totally fine. No, 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 no. It's totally fine. Let's go for it. What's your question, Danny? What's your question? Definitely that spirit like to terrorize me when I was little, and I will include it in the email. Yeah, Ivana, you're giving all the good stuff away here in the live. Save it for the house medium. We all want the juicy details on the house medium podcast. Did you like my podcast voice? If we so go ahead, Danny, what's your question? And I'm going to read Danny's email when I get off of here. And happy Day of the Dead, everyone. I got lots. Woo! My work has been giving me some major troubles, and I've been fighting some of the things they're doing. I was wondering if I'm headed in the good direction with what I'm doing. Okay. Dia de los Muertos. Mortis? Yes. I just want to know if I'm saying that right. Erica will tell me. Happy de los Muertos. Okay. AKA Day of the Dead. Okay. This is my first hit, Danny. I feel like you're not doing anything wrong. There's nothing you're doing wrong. Basically, I'm the one who's realized something's happening is illegal and I'm trying to get it solved. You're not doing anything wrong, but I wouldn't kind of fall on the sword. And I feel like your integrity and your need to kind of like do the thing that's right and be the person to kind of fall on the sword for it, that I wouldn't do. It feels like this is what I see. They like that you addressed it, you're paying attention and that's appreciated. But if you push it almost like making people feel that they're not doing their job and they're doing something wrong and you push that agenda, it is not going to go over well. So I would not push that agenda. I wouldn't be like, okay, I got to let you guys know how terrible you're doing. You're doing everything wrong. I'm going to really push that agenda and let you know. I would, you did what you did. You're doing that because when I see them, they start to feel like you're stepping outside your bounds. You know what I mean? I just saw kind of like a rainbow come on you. So, what that means to me is that you're almost somewhere through this and you'll make it to the other side of it. Yeah, that makes incredible amount of sense. Like you need to chill out because I know you, Danny, you can get a little intense. So, you need to kind of chill out. You need to be like, I did my job, I did my duty. It's up to you guys. But if you keep pushing the subject of how they are not really listening, really paying attention, and that you need to get them to listen and pay attention, it is going to blow up in your face. That's not your problem. You did your part and let it go. Let it be. Okay? Does that make sense? So, I would say just, you got to know the line. When it comes to people like that who are in charge of something so incredibly serious, they don't want to be looked at like you are calling them out like they're doing an inferior job. But if you're doing a good job, your job at doing a good job at catching something, they're like, great, she did a great job. We love that about her. But then when you're like, and by the way, you suck because you guys aren't doing this and this and this, they're like, now you're crossing the line. So that's what I would say. Okay, I'm so glad that helped. That's awesome. And I'm going to go read your email and we'll set up a time. I'm pretty sure from what I scanned over, we'll have you back on. And by the way, you suck called out. Yeah, exactly. I could see you're like, and by the way, you suck. So mo- they're like, excuse me, excuse me. So yeah, Thank you all so much. Go ahead, and if you haven't heard this week's podcast, you should. It was actually a really good one and really trippy one. And don't forget to send in your emails to the house medium at gmail if you have a paranormal experience, and I'll have you on. Um, sometimes, or I'll read your, or at least read your email. And for anything else I'm doing, go to Instagram or AdelaLavine.com for all my classes and other such, or to get a reading. I do have till midnight tonight, I have 30% off of my readings with the code Halloween. Thank you guys so much. And I can't wait to see you, talk to you on my podcast, some of you. So and go listen to this week's, because it was definitely an interesting one and touching, but definitely trippy. I love all the unique stories you guys are giving me. Have a great Day of the Dead, Samhain, which I think already happened, but whatever you're doing, talk to the spirits, talk to your families and friends. Believe it or not, they are like, "Come on, TikTok, when are you guys going to be talking to us?" And, and then listen, try to feel them. Follow yourself, follow no one, listen to your inner voice, and I'll see y'all soon. See you next week.